Hi, I'm Bhaskar with Bicycle AI. Today, we're launching Web Analytics on BigQuery. Prompt plus data builds you an agent that does your analytics. CSV first, then Snowflake, then BigQuery. Same product, multiple sources. So quick context if this is new to you. A handful of numbers run your business. If that's retail, checkout conversion, payment success, cart recovery, each one is really hundreds of segments. Products, regions, payment methods, moving independently all day. A dashboard waits for you to open it. A chatbot waits for you to ask. But an agent, on the other hand, doesn't wait. It watches, it catches what moved, and it tells you why. Let's build one. Let's look at what we're starting off with. Standard retail checkout data in BigQuery. One dataset, 10 tables, sessions, payment attempts, recoveries, etc. And then the metadata, device type, payment method, customer segment. Nothing modeled, no views, no semantic layer, just tables. Let's actually look at one of them to see what kind of data we have in here. Click on preview. So as you can see, standard checkout data. Here's Bicycle. Point it at your data. Either upload files or connect a warehouse like Snowflake or BigQuery. In this case, we're going to do this with BigQuery. I have a connection that is already created, but if you want to create a new one, it's fairly straightforward. I'm going to actually start with the one we already have. And these are the service account tables. This is what the service account can reach. And I choose which ones Bicycle can see. Fewer tables, fewer queries against your project, lower compute cost. Bicycle reads them where they are. Nothing is copied out of your project ever. So click on finish. That's it. Connected. One service account, 10 tables in scope. You can tell the agent what to focus on. You can say checkout conversion by device. That's the use case you want to build. And you can also hand it context. Dashboard screenshots, RCA docs, internal wikis. I'm skipping both of them right now, but we will come back to context. So here's where it gets interesting. Now, Bicycle is actually reading the schema. Based on that, it will recommend the agents. It's also finding the time field, the metrics, the breakdowns. Again, all agentic. You don't have to do anything here. Okay, so Bicycle processed the schema of all 10 tables, and here's all the possible agents that can be built. I'll obviously pick the checkout funnel drop-off by step. So select the agent. Again, to reiterate, all of these were built just by Bicycle introspecting the data, the columns, etc. And then it gave you all of these agents that can build from that. Now I clicked on start onboarding, but before we do that, a few questions first. Number one, understanding this data. Is this live and when does this land? There's the timestamp on when it does, and also the analysis window. One full day and you get each run. That's the whole point of this screen. Bicycle analyzes a complete day, not a half-loaded table. It's the difference between a real alert and a false one. Now, remember those 10 tables? 3 of them are events, things that happen, a checkout session, a payment attempt, a recovery, each mapped to its source table one-to-one, each with its own refresh schedule if you need that. The other 7 are dimensions, the typical way a problem actually hides in a checkout step, in a particular device, in a particular payment method, in a particular customer segment, etc., etc. Those 10 raw tables are now a data model. 3 events, 7 dimensions, fully mapped. Normally, this takes a while, but when we create it, every line is editable and you keep the guardrails. Now Bicycle is actually building out the data model, the KPIs, the baselines, the patterns of everything that it's watching. Takes about 15 minutes or so, and you don't have to actually wait. It will email you when it's ready. I obviously waited so that I could actually show you what it's building. So it's built the data model. Here are all the details. Here are the KPIs. All the formulas basically attached to it, automatically wired up. Here's all the dimensions. Here's the events that got onboarded. Then it's actually building the pattern model on top of it, which is really looking at like a KPI broken out by all the dimension values like cart value band, customer segment, etc., watching checkout session volume, watching checkout completion rate, etc. These are basically the pre-configured drivers. Once it does all this, now it's actually setting up the dashboards, the data stories, the alerts, the actual agent workspace. So let's see what the agent found. Multiple things to process here. So promotion redemption down, payments are down on Apple Pay, checkout completion down on mobile web. We did not really ask a question. So these are multiple things that moved, ranked, waiting for me. So that's what the agent does in the background. So I'm going to click on View RCA. Here's the why. Here's the RCA, right? Here's a quick summary. The short version of this is the cause wasn't in BigQuery. Now let's look at where the cause was. You can see exactly what it did. So step one was the alert. Step two, it narrowed it down by dimensions. Apple Pay on mobile web took the steepest drop, then the summer sale promo users, and so on and so forth. Step three are the drivers. Payment gateway health. Gateway basically shows Apple Pay tokenization failing on certificate errors. Datadog is actually backing it up, where the latency is up to 4 seconds, and it's actually looking at the observability tool to figure out if that was a factor. It also checked on whether a recent code deployment actually caused it, and it ruled it out. You can see a summary of all of the analysis that it does. But just to summarize it, none of all of these factors live in BigQuery. Remember the context box I skipped early on? Adyan, Datadog, GitHub, that's what goes in it. I connected those myself after the agent was live and handed it that. Connect your gateway logs, your deploy logs, your ticket queue, and it goes and finds it. These were alerts. So alerts are what changed today, what changed right now. You're basically looking at it almost in real time. It's as real time as your data is. Now, data stories are what changed over a month, over a week. So these are like QBRs, MBRs. You can group multiple KPIs in it. If you look at the summary here, payment failure spiked in June and recovered, card recovery, multiple KPIs, multiple weeks, just all packaged up as slides and a written report. Now, dashboards still exist. These are the dashboards that Bicycle automatically created. You just don't have to build them. And then last but not the least, conversational analytics. When you want to ask, just ask. So you can say, how does checkout completion rate vary by payment method over the last 7 days? It'll give you the answer. It'll also give a graphic that helps you understand it better. So connect, pick, and it just runs. Analysts get less grunt work. Data teams set the guardrails, and the agent runs inside them. One data set, 10 tables, one service account key. 15 minutes to an agent that pushes the answer to you instead of waiting for the question. CSV, Snowflake, BigQuery, it's all live now, self-service. Go to bicycle.ai and start your trial.